Hi, my name is Isabella. This video is going to be on the Portland Clean Energy Initiative campaign and the people who've worked on it. This video is because of an assignment for my government class in which we had to become involved in a campaign that's going to be on this November's ballot, and at the time I was already working on the Portland Clean Energy Fund campaign. I worked first at cold calling and stuffing letters, and then I was promoted to social media consultant, and then I began running the Instagram. Not fully. I was teamed up with a great guy, Damien, who does a lot of the graphics. So I also became passionate about it, and I know this is coming out. This is going to be released the day before your ballots are due, because I know a lot of people do it at the last minute, and I want this to be a big influential thing to really remind you to vote, and also additionally to vote on 26-201 for green jobs and green housing for a lot of people who have been left out. Not a video editor by any means, so this is going to be really choppy and not good, but I think that this is really important to get the people's voices out who worked on this campaign and whose hearts are really in this campaign. So please don't mind the sketchy jump cuts.
Mechanically, the Portland Clean Energy Fund would create a fund that would go towards weatherizing homes in low-income communities, providing job training for people who have been traditionally excluded from the clean energy economy, as well as green spaces in heavily concreted neighborhoods. But at its core, I think, is the notion that corporations are accountable to the communities that they operate in, and that they are accountable for the pollution that their policies cause.
So PSEF is all about bringing clean energy projects and job training to the city of Portland. A UN report that recently came out saying that we need to make drastic changes today if we want to continue living on this planet. Initiatives like PSEF is striving to do just that. It's trying to, be a leader on the national level when it comes to clean energy and those sort of high-level goals that will put us on the right track to ensure that we live in a society where we can breathe clean air.
And our day-to-day, we do something called Get Out the Vote. It is the busiest time of the year for any field campaign on any campaign, and involves discussions with management about strategy, organizing the staff to organize the volunteers to make the calls and knock on the doors and contact voters, both people who we know support us and people who don't know that there are supporters yet, but soon will be.
Finance perspective is make sure that all of the potential donors that have been saying this whole time that they want to contribute to the campaign, that we reach out to them and remind them that we have 1 week left until the election, so we need to bring in all the money that we potentially can so that we can do all of our get out the vote efforts, such as mailers or any of the social media campaigns. So on a day-to-day basis, that means working with the fundraising team. Meanwhile, I'll take notes and do all the necessary follow-up with the potential donors, and just really be on them so that they get the money in as soon as possible.
When I was 19 years old, my friend's mother told me to go to my precinct caucus. I had no idea what that was, but I went, and I was immediately taken by the sight of so many people having conversations with each other about democracy and what they thought would make this country better. I became a national delegate to the Democratic National Convention, and from then on, I joined the campaign, and I haven't looked back since.
So it all started in undergrad. I was an intern for Representative Katty McEwen, and during that time, she was telling me about this potential race that's happening in 2016. It was for Representative Val Hoyle. She was running for Secretary of State, and so she asked if I would potentially be interested in working on that campaign. And obviously I wanted to, because it was a really exciting experience, something new that I've never done before. And since that race, I fell in love with working on campaigns, and it's just been that ever since.
All of them, all of the grassroots. That's where my heart and soul is. I think that there's nothing more fundamental to democracy than people talking to each other about what makes our country strong, whether it's locally or nationally. You can't take a conversation out of democracy. It's the beating heart of what allows us to function. So I manage and structure the field program that organizes people to go out and talk to voters about what matters to them and what matters to us and how we can work together to get there.
Yeah, so some of the grassroots efforts that we do from a finance lens would be reaching out to all of the people within the city of Portland that are either politically or ideologically in line with what PSF is all about, explaining to them what the campaign is and trying to get their involvement with the campaign, especially, fundraising. So it's just a lot of sitting down and going through that list and calling person after person after person and try to build up that grassroots support.
I think it's both practically and ethically better to move with a grassroots approach. Advertising is a prescriptive, top-down way of campaigning, and sure, you can win that way, but to me it's a little morally bankrupt. But working with the grassroots, coming from the bottom up, ensures that everybody's able to participate at the level that they are able to participate, and it steps up people's engagement within their own community so they're bought into the outcomes. Beyond that, it builds community. It builds our country, our city, our region, our neighborhoods. It's everything.
I love the grassroots approach. It takes a lot more effort because you're trying to get, a lot of people to get motivated to be involved in this campaign from the bottom up, which is what grassroots is all about. It's all about the people's voices, what they actually want, rather than a sort of top-down approach where you have big corporations that are putting out a lot of advertising telling you how you should vote this upcoming election. So I personally believe strongly in the grassroots support because that is truly the voice of the people.
I hope I'm lucky enough to be involved in this if and when it passes. I think it's an incredibly smart piece of policy. I also, through my work with the incredible coalition members that have come together for the first time on this campaign, recognize that there is a powerful need for more organizing and engagement with the organizing tools that the political side of our world has known for very long, but the community-based side is only just now getting to know. And I would love to be a part of providing them with the tools that allow them to go even further in their missions. There are so many incredible missions and so many incredible visions that came together to make this happen, and my goal is to stay with all of that and help them to further both their own aims and their united vision for what makes Portland great.